What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is the Humble Lector, and today, surprisingly, here we do have the Spider-Man No Way Home pack. And the reason why I said it is pretty surprising is because of the fact that initially I normally get my toys from One Toy or My Toy Malaysia, and they do release certain Hasbro exclusive products, but with the Hasbro Pulse releasing in Malaysia, Singapore, and a few other Asian countries, they have, their websites, so they made it a super Pulse exclusive. So I couldn't get this, but I managed to get my hands on this from overseas. So I managed to import this for a fairly good price. But I know a lot of people complaining that this 3-pack here is really quite expensive for a Marvel Legends figure. So that all being said, Hasbro being all scumbaggish, I just want to review this figure, just go through the articulation, accessories, and of course give you my thoughts and my opinions at the end. So yes, without further ado, let's just get right into it. Okay, so we're going to start off here with the packaging. So this one here, I like the pose because it's the final battle posing over here with all 3 figures. Not too bad, but imagine if this was a window packaging. And of course, we have some nice artwork on the sides here. We have all the artworks here as well, the product image on the back with all the accessories, which to be honest isn't much because I know a lot of people are complaining about the hits, but they might be releasing it with the No Way Home wave the end of the year. But I have a hunch of a feeling that this one here would come with the lab coat, and Tobey would come into like his pastor suit kind of thing. So it's not a real full one, but these are just my thoughts because scumbag Hasbro will do scumbag stuff, and that is what I think they will do. So yes, we have some more images on the sides here, and now let's just unbox this bad boy up. Okay, so we have all 3 Spider-Mans over here. Super excited to actually check them out. I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, so definitely having them all of them here and trying to put them into their final battle pose here is a little bit hard, but we are going to go through the articulation in a little bit. But I'm going to check out the figures here because it just looks so awesome. We're going to check out one by one on all of them, and here, let's go. Alright, so obviously we're going to start with the least favorite ones here, which is the Tom Holland Spider-Man, because we have had the similar one previously before. The only differences I can see here, I thought initially that the new one having the pinless joints was new, but I actually realized that the one that we had from the first No Way Home had pinless joints as well, because it was all mint in my box, so I couldn't tell. Of course, the major difference you can tell here is the web patterns that we have on the new Spider-Man. So just take an example like this one here, which didn't come with the web patterns, but you can kind of paint it yourself. So if you have the old one, you can just paint it yourself, but if you definitely you're not going to get the 3-pack for that, I mean, this is the whole reason you get this is for the other 2 Spider-Mans. Other than that, there isn't much of a major difference. They still have the gauntlet, which isn't accurate to the movie, especially when it came to the final battle over here. The heights are all the same, the sculpting exactly is about the same. You're not missing out a lot. And also you do have an extra pair of hands, which I will show you in a little bit, because there isn't the Tom Holland head, which they have done before. But no, it's Hasbro being Hasbro stuff. They are not giving us the stuff. So I'm going to show you the extra pair of hands here, which we got from the first one. We have the closed-fisted ones. We have the web-tripping hands, 1 pair each. And also on his hands right now, you have the wall-crawling hands, which all Spider-Man figures should have. Other than that, like I mentioned, it's really all about the same on all of them. The fingers on this doesn't have the sculpting as well, but they do have it on the feet, on the head, and also on his body. And for articulation, the head movement can go up all the way this much only because it uses what they call it, the dumbbell joint, and can go down this much. You can of course twist it as much as you want. It is a little bit gummy and a bit hard, so you gotta warm your fingers up. You can do some side movement here, some head tilting. In terms of the arms, you can have a nice T-pose over here, and you do have your butterfly joints, which would go back quite a fair bit here. Like I mentioned, mine is very gummy, just right off the box, so it would take some time to kind of get it all loosey-goosey. And you do have your bicep swivel, you have your pinless double-jointed elbows, which would go about here, which is really good. So nice stretch here. And also when it comes to the wrist, you have the movement here and up and down on both sides. All of the other hands work the same way as well. Going on to the torso here, you have a nice crunch forward, a nice crunch backwards here, and you can have your waist swivel. And then going out the knees, the waist goes out this much here, which is really, really nice. There is no drop down hips on him. You have an upper thigh swivel, and also you have your pidless double jointed knees as well, which kicks back really a lot. And of course, you have beautiful ankle pivot, up and down and sideways movement here. Here he is next to the other MCU Spider-Man we got. We got the Civil War 3-pack. We also have one of my favorite suits from Homecoming, and we had the Iron Spider. We have this one from Far From Home, and the final Battle No Way Home set. Okay, so we have the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man over here, and I think this is one of the more anticipated figures from this wave. And I don't have the SHF, so you don't need to ask me in the comments because I don't have it, but I do have the Toy Biz ones, and I know they came out with a lot of them back in the day. But we have one nice one over here. We have the Super Articulated, and we also have the final battle from the first Spider-Man movie version next to them over here. And for me, to be honest, I do like this one a lot because maybe of the body size and the eyes, but I got to admit that the new Spider-Man as well looks really, really nice. So we are now going to have a closer look on him, and we're going to put the older one here so you can see that the comparisons are quite there, I would say, and I think they still nailed it on. Whether it's really MCU accurate is, of course, a lot left to be desired, but it's all, you know, all in all. And I don't have the SHF, like I mentioned before. What I like about here is the attention to details, which you do notice on the cobwebs on him. So I'm trying to get him into focus. As we can see here, we have the web lines which is jutted out, which we normally get from the older figures here. And this is continued to this new figure here, which is really nice. The eyes are a little bit janky. I did wish that they were a little bit closer and maybe a little bit bigger. The web pattern on him, on his chest and everything is really good. The belt as well, they got it pretty spot on, I would say. And also the shape, everything is good. I do like the nice symbol as well. It looks really, really nice. And you do have that nice texture to his blue parts of his suit here, which is really good. And it follows through with his feet as well. The back as well is pretty accurate, but as we can see here, if I crunch forward a lot, you will notice there's a bit of a gap. And if I crunch backwards on his chest, you can see there's a big gap here. Very, very noticeable, like especially with the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man and all that. And if you notice here, they do have the cobweb patterns that follow through on his elbows here. Really, really good. You do have pinless joints all around. So that's really, really cool. And now we're going to check out the accessories that comes with him. So we have the close-fisted on Tobey here. We also have the web shooters on the other side. Also, the web pattern is all followed through, and we also have the sort of wall crawling hands, but it is a little bit different. It's more like grabby wall pattern, which you can do from the first Spider-Man the posters and all that. And I do like the attention to details. So I don't have any head to be swapped on this, which is really disappointing, but overall I think this is still a great looking figure. And now let's go on to articulation. So it also uses a dumbbell joint, which is really, really weird. And you can only tilt up this much, you can tilt down this much, you can of course swivel all around here and hinge it around. Going on to the arms, you get a nice T-pose here. The chest is pretty small. You do have your double jointed shoulders here. The butterfly joints, and also, like I mentioned, the double jointed elbows, which goes back this much, which is really good. And also going on to the bicep swivels, and going on to the wrist, you have nice rotation and hinge up and down. Again, on all other hands, it's about the same movement. And going on to the torso here, you can crunch forward all the way this much. You can crunch forward backwards this much. On the upper torso, you can have a nice swivel here, which we have seen from the retro figures. And there isn't any waist rotation with this. Going on to the legs, you can spread out this much, lesser than the Tom Holland, if I'm not wrong. And in case you want to know, you can kick forward out this much here. And it does have feels like it does have a drop down hip. So you can actually drop it down here, which is really cool on both sides. And you do have your upper thigh swivel. You do have your pinless joint knees here, which goes back this much. Can kick his own butt. Alright, and one thing to note is that on all the figures, you'll notice the 2 dots here. I've seen it on my friend's one as well. So let me know in the comments down below if you have this figure and if it does have this ugly dot here. And going on, there's no cuff rotation, but you do have excellent ankle pivot, up and down movements, and sideways as well. And finally here we have the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, which of course I think is the most anticipated figure because we don't really have a lot of him in figure form. We do have this one from the first Amazing Spider-Man and also the second one here, which is from the first Marvel Legends wave. It is what Marvel Legends is today, and this was the first wave. And I'm now going to take out the accessories that comes with him. So again, on him you can see it has a closed fisted hand and a open grabby hand, but they also do give you the whip hands as you would with any Spider-Man figure, and they also give you another pair of closed fisted hands, so you do have one on the other side, and we have the wall crawling hands as well. So bringing in this figure a little bit closer, I'm going to compare this in a little bit. So I'm just put it all to the side. Looking at this figure, it just looks so awesome. I mean, it does have that accurate look. It's very slim, very slender, and the web patterns on him is amazing. I mean, no pun intended. It just looks really nice, and you can see that the eyes as well, they got it really spot on. And for his web pattern, it is a little bit jutted out, and they do have that nice logo here. I know it's pretty dark. Let me try to brighten this up. Okay, and so we have it here. So this is a clearer view of how he actually looks. Really nice. My joint inside is a little bit stiff. I'm really afraid to kind of move him around. I'll probably have to heat this up because I don't want to break the joint inside of him because he is angled one side, which is really weird. Like, it's very stiff. So like looking at his pattern, I like the fact that it does follow through all the way down here, and you can actually stretch back quite a lot. So you can see that his logo here goes down quite a fair bit. On the front here as well, similar with Tobey Maguire, if you crunch forward too much to the front, you'll notice the gap here as well. I do like the logo on the back. And also his suit just looks amazing. They do have a nice texture to it as well, really nice. And on the feet, you do have the web patterns, and it follows through on his hands as well. This is really accurate. This feels like a proper premium grade import figure, like from maybe Mayfax, SHF, Hot Toys, and all that. It really looks very nice, and I think this is the most value, if you want to put it into a $30 figure. I think this is the better one, I would say, compared to the other two figures. In terms of the accuracy, in terms of all this, it looks just amazing. So going on to the articulation on him, again, this is using the dumbbell joint, so you can only look upwards this much. You can look downwards this much over here. In terms of the rotation, you can go as much as you want, and of course you can hinge it all around here, not too bad. In terms of the T-pose, in the arms you can get a very flexible T-pose here, and even more, maybe a Y pose. You do have your butterfly joints, which goes back quite a fair bit, I would say, and on both sides, and you can go in a little bit more as well. And going on to the arms, you have your nice bicep swivel, you have your pinless joints as you would. So this one here, nice pinless joints on the elbows, and on the wrist here as well, nice rotation, hinge up and down. Same thing as well with the other hands. And going on to the torso, you can crunch backwards this much, and you can crunch forward here quite a fair bit, I would say. Not too bad. Backwards this much here, so pretty amazing. And of course you have that nice swivel on the upper torso. You can rotate it, but mine is again a little bit stuck, so I probably have to warm him up a little bit. And going on to the legs, you do have your drop down hips here, so you can kind of give it a little bit more rotation, and then the legs spread out here a lot, and you do have your nice upper thigh swivel. Not too bad. And going on to the knees, you have your pinless jointed knees, which is tricks back here, which can go up to his butt. And also you can go to his, there's no cuff rotation on him, but you have excellent ankle pivots as well. And here he is next to the other amazing Spider-Man figures. We have this one from this one. So you can see the shoulder is very junky, very janky over here. I mean, you can see what they were trying to achieve, like with the face, the sculpting, the logos and all that, but you can tell that this is a very old figure. The joints feels very loose, and the shoulders as well looks very weird. As you can see here, he has like this bulging tumors on him. And we go back to this. I do hope that Hasbro would re-release this figure, because I think this is really iconic as well. Very nice, but very limited with rotation and articulation, which is a bit of a bummer. So definitely this is a huge upgrade to your Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. And also one more thing to note is that with 3 of these figures, you do have this. I almost forgot about these web lines over here. It is a bit translucent. There isn't any grabbing hands for each of these figures, so you kind of have to just go over their wrists, but it is what it is. Alright, so now we have all 3 figures here, all side by side with each other, so you can see the height difference. Definitely the Andrew Garfield is the tallest, and in terms of the height here as well, the Tobey Maguire comes in at about 6 inch, whereas on the Tom Holland it is less than 6 inches, about 5.5. And of course on Andrew Garfield, it goes in at about slightly above the 6 inch mark. And here he is next to some new Spider-Man figures. We got them from the 3-pack. Stan the Man Lee here, which is just a nightmare to make him stand, ironically. And we also have the Gamerverse Spider-Man, and I gotta say, I mean, you can never run out of Spider-Man figures. Alright, so that is it with this No Way Home 3-pack. So I'm going to do an individual rating first. So for Tom Holland, which is the least favorite, I would assume, that is going to get a nice 6 out of 10. I mean, it is a full remake of what they have done before. It's just a different color scheme and all that. They are still giving us the stupid gauntlets, which they should have taken out. The fingers don't have the web patterns, but the body does. So 6 out of 10 for this. For the second place, I would go for Tobey Maguire. This one does get a solid 6.5 out of 10. I do like the web patterns on him. The body size, I think, should have been a little bit bulkier. I always felt that he was always more of the bulkier Spider-Man, not so flexible. But I do, and also the face was a little bit off for me, but overall still a great looking figure. And of course, first place would go to the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. I mean, it just fits in into your comic Spider-Man so well. It fits in into your MCU Spider-Man nowadays as well. Very well. The web patterns on him and the accuracy is fully spot on. This really feels like a very high-end import figure. One more thing I forgot to note is that this one here, you can see that he does have these web shooters on him. Amazing amount of details. The rest doesn't have, because this does come out from his body straight away. And here does have the stupid gauntlets, like I mentioned. So yes, overall for $30, that's the rating I'm gonna get. But for a whole pack over here, I would give this a 6.5 out of 10, because I felt that this one here should have been maybe $80 at least, maybe, or maybe 75, but it's Hasbro doing Hasbro stuff. They're trying to make back their money for all their crap they've been giving us. So yeah, I think this is a 6.5 out of 10 over here. I did wish that they could have given us the face over here, which we will see in the No Way Home wave at the end of the year. So if you guys enjoyed this video, do click the like and smash that subscribe button down below for more videos like this in the future. And also, if you want to find me on my socials, you can do so on my Instagram at the Humble Lecter. And also, I will see you guys in the next one.